My name is Neil Merrell. I've been on the board as the secretary for 4 years. We currently live in Westminster. Previously, we lived in the Somerset community in Providence, and we moved to Providence in 2012.
Wow, that's great. And so, with so many different places to live in Las Vegas, why did you choose Providence to make your home?
Well, we moved from out of town. We didn't choose Providence from living in a different part of Las Vegas like many do. But when you're looking around in different communities, different parts of town, Summerlin, Henderson, the Southwest, there's certainly a different feel to Providence, both in kind of how it looks and how it feels. And it was something that appealed to us. It felt a little more, maybe less city-like. I think sometimes people don't realize while we're far from the technical city, we still live in a city. We're not truly a suburb.
Right.
It's as suburby as you can be in Las Vegas, in my opinion, which appealed to us as a family having small kids. It was comfortable.
Great. So, you said you've been on the board for the last 4 years. Tell us why you would like to continue to be on the board, and if you are elected, what do you see as a priority for the board?
Well, I think the work we do on the board is important. I think coming to the board, it's important that your goal is simply to take good care, be good stewards of the association's money. No one on the board currently has an agenda, which is what you want to see on a group like this. We're looking out for the best interests of the community, making financial decisions which affect everybody. And like I said, being good stewards of association money is our most important role. The most important thing that we've been doing, and we want to keep doing if I'm elected, is making sure that Providence remains a desirable place to live. We have shiny new neighbors just next door to us, and it's important that we take the necessary steps to be as desirable, if not more desirable, of a community to keep home values high, which is really what we're doing. This is everyone's probably their biggest investment, and we have a responsibility to do what we can to make sure that Providence is a key desirable area.
That's great. So to move on, as you know, there are a lot of moving pieces to keep our community running smoothly, and you know this as you've been on the board. What are some of the strengths that you bring as a board member?
Well, I've been a small business owner for 23 years, and those tasks you do every day in a small business, wearing different hats, play very well in terms of the things you're faced with being on the board. We deal with budgets, we deal with rules and regulations, and everyone has rules and regulations in their workplace for the most part. And it's important to be consistent. That works in business. If you're consistent, everyone knows where they are. If you have good communication, everyone knows what's going on. Good communication avoids conflict. And I think that would actually be an area to focus on in the next 2 years, is communication. I think people sometimes get confused. What does the master HOA do? What does my sub HOA do? Do I have a sub HOA? I didn't realize that. You might blame your real estate agent for that. It's important to know what everyone's responsibility is, because we all have different roles and different responsibilities. So I think one thing, in addition to finishing Huckleberry Park, which is getting started now and will take some time into 2020, is a little bit more clarity of what does Providence do, what does your sub do, and who to call for certain situations.
Great. So what current challenges do you see the board and or the community facing currently, and what changes would you implement to address those particular concerns, probably going off of what you just said there?
Yeah, well, I think communication is important. We have some different plans that the board would like to see, and the management team is going to implement in terms of increasing our communication. But really the most important thing is making sure that Providence remains a desirable place to live. Like I mentioned earlier, there's new neighbors just next door. Brand new and shiny is sometimes desirable. It doesn't make it better. It just makes it a little bit different. And we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure Providence looks nice and is a safe, desirable, welcoming place for people to live.
Yeah. And then finally, already the last question, why should the residents of Providence vote for you?
Well, I think I've been on the board for 4 years, and I think anyone who's been following what we've been doing as a board would say that we've been very consistent. We're looking out for the best interests of the residents, the homeowners, and there are no hidden agendas for any of the board members. That's been the case with everyone who's been on the board in my experience and currently on the board right now. And I think it's an important thing. So when you're looking to evaluate who do I want to vote for, what have they done for the community, why are they running for the board, and what's their goal?
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I've enjoyed working on the board for 4 years. I think it's important work, and I think that the board has been doing a good job of doing the association's work, doing the residents' work. And we'd like to continue to keep doing that. So I think everyone who's on the board right now up for election is running. And I think they've done a competent job. and I think they've earned the opportunity to keep doing it.
Great. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, Jenna.
Thanks.